Lighthouse follows two lighthouse keepers who live on a remote New England island based in, I think it's 1890, and the two actors are Robert Pattinson, who of course is going to be playing our new Batman, as well as Willem Dafoe, who was the Green Goblin in the original Spider-Man movies. But I was going into this movie, I didn't really know much other than the fact that everyone loved it. That's all I knew about this movie, was that everyone loved it and it was a black and white movie. So I went into this movie really anticipating seeing what was going to happen. But as this movie was playing out, I think in about first 15 minutes, I realised I wasn't going to like this movie. Because as it was playing out, I was really, really bored. It's a really, really boring movie, and I didn't enjoy it. It's not a movie that was made for me at all. Where I'm a guy who just really enjoys action movies. Like, I understand all the good elements of this movie, which I will get into, but I just found this movie to be boring. It's a really slow, suspenseful movie. Even though the suspense was there and I was very intrigued to see what was going to happen, I was just bored out of my mind how this movie was playing out. But the good elements of this movie was, of course, Robert Pattinson, who when I heard he was playing, when I heard he was cast as Batman, I was like, really, the guy from Twilight? But then everyone's going, oh no, if you watch his movies that aren't Twilight, he's really good in it. And this is the only movie, like, I've actually never seen him. This is the first movie, as far as I know, I've seen him in, and he's really good. This is, of course, he really steals the show in this movie, and every time he's on scene, even though he is with Willem Dafoe, I just think he's incredible. He's really, really good in all the scenes he is in, as well as Willem Dafoe. The lines of dialogue he has like a big, like 1 to 2 minute monologues like every 20 minutes, and he just knocks it out of the board. I wonder how many times he had to do his takes, because it doesn't seem like his takes were kind of cut. It doesn't seem like they're edited at all. It just seems like it is him just going on and on for 2 minutes straight, which I imagine if he did, that's pretty impressive, because the dialogue in this movie, especially from Willem Dafoe's character, it's not like normal dialogue. It's not normal the way people talk. It's very much the way people would have spoken back then if they were a lighthouse keeper. So the fact that he talks in that way, I found it to be really interesting and really a kind of a unique way of doing it, rather than just kind of generic way of talking, which Robert Pattinson kind of has it in a way, just kind of generic talking. But Willem Dafoe's way of talking dialogue was really interesting. That kind of was an element I did enjoy, as well. The black and white, I didn't know if I was gonna, like, I didn't care. Black and white doesn't really bother me, but I was just thinking, is this gonna be weird? And it does. It feels like if I didn't know these actors, and if I didn't know this movie was made, like, if I just didn't know these actors and I sat down and watched this movie, I would have thought it was made 50, 60 years ago, because there's nothing about this movie that makes it feel like it was made in the year 2019, because it feels like a really old movie. The way it was filmed, the way it looks, everything about this movie just seems like a really old movie. So in that kind of element, it's a really kind of unique and really interesting way of being able to take a movie that was made in 2019 and kind of put a spin on it to make it look like it was made back in the 1950s and 1940s as well. As I said, it is boring. The fact that the story, even though it is building to something, it doesn't feel like it's building to something. And it's just a really slow burn that as I was watching it, I kind of checked my phone a bit to see what time it was, because I was bored. I keep saying it, I was just bored. And I don't understand why I was bored, because everyone says how incredible it was, and I was trying to watch it to see how incredible it was. Even though I was intrigued to see where it was going, I was just bored out of my mind. I couldn't sit there. I was just so bored watching this movie. And if it was to come down to a recommendation, I don't think I would recommend this movie unless you're a massive cinephile. I would not recommend it, because I found it boring. I was really, really bored, and I see movies, like, I go cinema like 3 to 4 times a week, and I was bored out of my mind watching this movie. So if you're just a casual cinema goer, I wouldn't recommend this movie to you whatsoever, because it's very boring. But if you are a cinephile, you've already seen it by now. But if you aren't, wouldn't recommend it. But if you have seen this movie, I would love to hear people's thoughts on it, because I found it boring, but maybe you didn't find it boring. So if you didn't find this movie boring, let me know your thoughts on the movie down below, and why you didn't think it was boring. Let me know all that down below in the comments. Click that subscribe button so you can come back to the other movie reviews just like this one. And as always, thanks for watching.